The universe. An unfathomable expanse of matter and energy. For decades, science has woven a narrative of its origin, a singularity, a primordial explosion, followed by billions of years of cosmic and biological evolution. A dance of chance and necessity that supposedly culminated in the emergence of life and eventually consciousness on a small blue planet. But is this the whole story? Can blind chance explain the exquisite complexity, the underlying order, the insatiable thirst for meaning that defines the human experience? Oh, there are whispers of a deeper design, of an intelligence that permeates the cosmos with a purpose that transcends our current understanding. And what if evolution were not just a material process, but also a manifestation of a vast and benevolent plan? Throughout history, humanity has sensed a connection with something greater. Stories of enlightened beings, of divine messengers, have emerged in every culture. But one of them stands out for their transformative impact. A figure whose life and teachings would resonate across the millennia. Although for many, his true nature and cosmic mission remain veiled by myth and tradition.
The conscious universe. The mission of an envoy.
Let us imagine for a moment that the universe is not an accident. Let us imagine that it is the work of cosmic architects, beings of immense wisdom and creative power, responsible for vast stellar domains. For these architects, creation is not a distant act, but an expression of their very nature, a field of experience and growth. And in order to govern with perfect understanding, a fundamental principle arises: to know intimately that which has been created. Let us consider the possibility that one of these cosmic architects, a creator and sustainer of countless worlds, chose to embark on a series of extraordinary missions. Not as a conqueror, but as a humble participant. To live life from the perspective of his own creatures. From the highest forms to the simplest ones. 7 times. This being would have immersed himself in created existence with each experience, deepening his understanding and perfecting his capacity for leadership. His 7th and final descent would be the most challenging, to incarnate as a human being on a developing planet, a world marked by confusion and spiritual isolation. The purpose of this final mission was twofold. Firstly, to complete his experimental understanding of mortal life, feeling its joys and its fears, its struggles. Secondly, and even more crucially, to unequivocally reveal the true nature of the universe's primordial source. The universal creator, often misunderstood or feared.
Did not come to impose, but to inspire. Not to rule, but to show a way. But first, a meticulous preparation. This cosmic envoy received counsel from higher intelligences. His life on Earth was to be a testimony. He would grow up as a child, learning like everyone else, without using extraordinary powers to alter the natural course. He was instructed to avoid involvement in economics or politics. His kingdom was not of this world. He would not found organized religions, nor leave behind writings or images that could lead to idolatry. His life, his teachings, would be for all humanity.
An inspiration for all faiths and philosophies. The awareness of his dual identity, both divine and human, would not be instantaneous. It would develop gradually as his human mind matured. He would not be a god disguised as a man, nor a man who suddenly becomes divine. He would be, from the very beginning and forever, a unified personality, where the human and the divine would merge into a living reality, a supreme example of the union between creator and creature. And at the moment of full self-awareness, as a human being among humans, he would be called upon to confront the shadows of an ancient cosmic rebellion that had affected this planet, demonstrating that truth and faith are more powerful than force. The world to which this envoy would come was not an age of complete spiritual darkness. Rather, it was experiencing an intense philosophical and religious revitalization. The Mediterranean setting offered unique conditions. The Roman Empire imposed a relative peace. Its roads connected cultures, and its pirate-free seas facilitated trade and the exchange of ideas. Greek culture and language, with their rich philosophical heritage, had spread widely, providing a vehicle for new ideas. And crucially, the Jewish communities, scattered throughout the empire, kept the flame of monotheism and a messianic expectation alive, creating a network of synagogues that, unknowingly, would become platforms for a revolutionary message. Palestine, at the crossroads of three continents, was a melting pot of cultures and tensions. The Jewish people, with their profound spiritual tradition and steadfast belief in a single God, played a central role. Their faith, anchored in Jerusalem, had survived countless challenges. However, their longing for a Messiah had become tinged with political and nationalist expectations. A rigid legalism and a strict separation from the Gentiles often overshadowed the deeper essence of their heritage. A dense layer of ritualism and tradition. At times, it stifled the spontaneity of living faith. Beyond Palestine, the Gentile world teemed with a myriad of beliefs. Philosophies such as Stoicism promoted virtue and harmony with a supreme reason. Eastern mystery cults, with their promises of individual salvation and life after death, attracted many. Although often shrouded in superstition, these currents revealed a profound spiritual thirst, a longing for connection and transcendence that the state religions no longer satisfied. In their own way, the ground was prepared. And so, in this complex tapestry of human history, the earthly life of the messenger began. He grew up in obscurity, learning, working, experiencing the fullness of human existence. His central mission was not to perform spectacular miracles to amaze the crowds. Although his compassion often manifested in acts of healing, his true purpose was to live a life of perfect trust in the goodness of the universal Creator. and to reveal that loving character to a fearful and confused humanity. He taught that every human being harbors within themselves a divine spark, a direct connection to the infinite source, an inner guide capable of leading the individual towards truth, beauty, and goodness. His message was radically simple and universal: love and selfless service as the highest expression of faith. The brotherhood of humanity, under the fatherhood of a God who is not a harsh judge, but an infinitely loving and understanding Father. In him, divinity and humanity were not in conflict, but in perfect harmony. He was the living proof that a human being, fully trusting in the divine presence within, can transcend the limitations of material existence and live a life of cosmic purpose. His life was the embodiment of the truth he came to proclaim, a beacon of hope in a longing world. After his departure, his followers, moved by his life and teachings, tried to preserve his message. Accounts emerged, passed on orally and later in writing. However, the original purity of his personal revelation of God as Father, "Thank you," was inevitably filtered through the beliefs and expectations of the time. Influential figures such as the Apostle Paul, an organizational and theological genius, integrated the Master's teachings with Greek philosophy, Jewish morality, and elements from the mystery cults, creating a belief system that enabled its spread throughout the Roman world. The story of this cosmic messenger challenges us to broaden our vision. It invites us to consider that the universe is not a cold, meaningless void, but a living, intelligent organism, constantly evolving towards greater perfection. That human life is not a biological accident, but a sacred opportunity for spiritual growth and the realization of our divine potential, inherent in each one of us.
The true mission of this being was not to found a religion that would divide, but to reveal a universal truth. We are children of a loving universe. The path to transcendence lies in recognizing our connection with the Source and with our fellow beings. His life showed that faith, truth, and love are the most powerful forces. Perhaps, when we gaze at the stars, we do not only see the echo of an explosion, but the reflection of an unfathomable purpose, a vast intelligence, a love that encompasses everything.
And perhaps the story of that messenger from 2 millennia ago is just a chapter in a much greater saga, an invitation to awaken to our true cosmic heritage and to consciously take part in the great adventure of creation.